Cranking on YouTube. We'll be joining Facebook Live and cranking off the show here pretty soon. Well, that's one thing. When are we going to roll out the new announcement?
You know what? There is a huge thing at Target I saw. It's like this tube that's like this big, maybe like this round, and it's filled with confetti or like powder. Yeah?
That sounds good.
But there's going to be powder everywhere. Like powder. I don't know if that would be a good idea for the cameras.
Yeah, that might get a little sticky.
That might get a little messy. But I want to like a confetti cannon. Ooh, Amazon.
I thought you were anti-Amazon.
I am, but when you want confetti cannons.
They're the only ones that got confetti cannons, I presume.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll try Alan's Party Supply. Or Party City. We're ready for the music.
Ready? Crank her up.
The Toyota San Bernardino Recording Studio presents IE Newswire Daily with Roy Bleckert and Stephanie Meyer. So sit back and enjoy the show.
We're back and
It's not done yet.
Yeah, when you get the fade, that's when you start.
It's not fading yet.
It's fading.
Now you can go.
No.
And we're back on
Monday!
What he said. Monday Night Football.
Yes, there you go. Who's playing? The Giants and the Eagles?
Yes.
Wow.
You asked me before I can even answer. Or you answered before, you know what I mean.
Something like that.
Something, yeah.
Something like that. That should
say.
be a good game. Good thing the Rams won because
Yes,
that still keeps their playoff hopes alive.
They
getting in
kicked butt.
Yes, I was pretty impressed with them beating. Was it the No, it wasn't the Seahawks. Who were they playing? Was it the Seahawks?
I think it was.
Yeah, it was the Seahawks, which is a darn good team. So I mean, maybe they're getting out of that funk they were in earlier in the year where they
What funk were they in?
Well, they couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat.
Oh no, they weren't that bad.
No, what did they get skunked 45-6 in that Monday night game?
I don't know, but they won. It was 28-12, and yes, they were playing the Seahawks.
Yeah, so maybe they're getting their act together, to put it nicely, and cranking it up on the old deal. But yeah, about 4 more weeks and the playoffs will be starting on football.
Okay, so because I'm a rookie with football. This is kind of like my first real true year of yes.
And it's
so
probably
playoffs. How many teams are in the playoffs for those that might be watching that don't know football as well?
Well, you've got the
know
3
either.
division winners, and then you got the wild card playoff systems, which is like a double eliminator. So what they go, and that's what the Rams cannot win their division. I think the Niners got that locked up, or they're at least eliminated. So they got to go in the wild card burst on that, which I think there's 2. They have a couple of I think they have 1 week of elimination games in the wild cards, and then they get it down to the final 4 in each conference, and then move it up, do the semis, the conference finals, and then the final 2 in the Super Bowl.
Who do you think's gone?
I'm hoping for a Patriots and Rams rematch, but I'm more confident the Patriots might make it back in than the Rams. But I'm thinking the 49ers are going to be in it. The 49ers just look freaking awesome this year.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean they're like going everybody like Grant through Richmond and things. I mean they're really impressive from where they were last year. I mean they really turned kind of like the Lakers did. Lakers were the same thing. I mean they were 5 or 6 straight years of missing the playoffs. And even when they got LeBron last year, they missed the playoffs. But this year, what are they?
They are 11-2 right now.
Yeah, that's on the road. But what are they? 20-3 overall, best record in the NBA. Just went through a road trip where they won all 3 games. Coming back home on that. So, yeah, the Lakers are looking stout.
Patriots are doing pretty good, too.
Yeah, the Patriots.
The Ravens are doing good. Who are they? I've never heard of them before, really.
Baltimore.
Welcome back, Ravens.
Of that. They were North Carolina, and then they moved to Baltimore. Back to Baltimore, where the
Well,
Colts
they're
used to
doing
be.
really good, though. So maybe it'll be
what's
the Ravens.
What's the record on the Ravens?
11-2 as well.
They're
I don't
they're
know about
looking
the
pretty
other
stout.
mumbo jumbo you were talking about.
They're
but
looking pretty stout too, but you in the on the AFL or Eastern Conference or whatever they're calling it, you got to go through the Patriots. I mean, they're going to have to beat the Patriots to get there. Usually, well, that's been the last few years.
the Ravens are already beating. Oh well, no.
No, I mean,
One's east
once
and
you
one's
get in
north.
the playoffs,
Yeah.
so that have they met?
I don't
See
know.
if they've met head to
I'm so
head.
confused.
If they've run doing that on the
What?
what?
I don't know. what
No,
you
I
were
mean, I wondered
saying.
if the Ravens and the
the
Patriots have
have
played
played?
this year. Yeah,
I don't
in
know.
a head-to-head match.
I'll find out later.
Of all that
I'm
good
busy right
stuff.
now. I'm kind of trying to. Never mind. The Chiefs gave me the tingle, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
you
But
said
they're
no.
not,
They've been darn
they're
good
9-4.
too.
They're not.
But I mean, yeah,
I don't know.
compare again though. 'Cause they were kind of struggling last year too, and man, they've turned it around, and they've got a pretty potent team. I mean, they got a good shot of making it in there too. You never know. I mean, like the Patriots one where what was it against the Chiefs or the one where they had the missed call on that where the Patriots got in the championship game and everybody was all pouty about it and
Because
stuff.
they cheated.
Nobody well, there's like I told you, there's cheaters
Wasn't
and
that
losers.
the team that they always said was cheating?
Well, that's the deflate gate where Tom Brady was supposedly lowering the air pressure in the footballs.
Do you think he was?
Sure, he was. I have no doubt about it.
Really?
Well, like,
We should get him on and talk about that.
yeah, let's get Tom Brady on the horn here, and let's get him talk about Deflategate. No, I mean that's one thing, and a lot of people are all incensed about it. Your team cheats too, so
You think so? You think they
they all
cheat?
do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they cheat on every play. You could call a violation on every play in football. Somebody's holding, grabbing, pushing, shoving that they shouldn't be doing. You could technically call a violation on every play in football. Nobody plays by the rules. You take what you can. Whenever you're in competitive sports, you take what you can get. It's kind of like driving 100 miles an hour down the freeway. If you don't get caught, well,
Or crash and kill yourself.
yeah,
Or family
or
driving
that. But I
way
mean,
as well.
it's the same thing. When you're doing any type of competitive sports, you take every measure just because the object is winning. That's what I mean, that's what you don't. Who recognized? Well, the Rams were second, but yeah, I'm a Rams fan and L.A. Rams fan. Let's put it that way, lifelong. I mean, I remember that they lost the Super Bowl. Nobody else does. Nobody cares. They know the Patriots won. That's all. Anybody. That's all. Let's knock the notion off about the goody two shoes stuff and everything else. Sports is about winning.
And cheating, apparently.
Yes. How many guys are doctoring the baseballs in this? And but they went through
What do
this.
you mean doctoring the baseballs?
Well, yeah, you cut it's technically illegal to cut for a pitcher or whatever to cut the baseball. If you cut the baseball, it'll actually change the aerodynamics of the baseball and it'll actually curve or bend more, or get more movement in the pitch. But it is illegal. But they do it all the time.
Do they?
Yes.
Let's get a baseball player on and talk about that.
So I mean, like I say, that's holding, grabbing, fouls and that. I mean, again, you can take any sport. You could call a violation on any play in any given moment on any time because somebody somewhere's violating the rules.
I don't know. I agree. Yes. What you said. You're so smart and wise.
Another clip is born.
Shut up. Bart.
Make sure we save that one. Mark this day and time, Jesse.
Get paid to say that? Anyways, moving on. What else you got, buddy?
Oh, all that. Leave it to California to blow the weed deal. And I've said that if there was any, everybody else has been pretty successful with legalizing marijuana. Colorado.
We are legalized, aren't we?
Yes.
You're confusing me now.
But
Please tell me more.
Here's a story in the Press Enterprise. In the second year of legal weed, California cannabis industry still struggles. High taxes, outlaw competitors make it tough for legal operators to make a buck. I've been saying this since they passed it. I said, watch, California will be the one state that will screw up the weed deal.
Thanks, California.
And I've said, you you can't. The legal market will never establish itself if you tax it and regulate it to death, where it cannot get established and you can't get the black market out. And this is exactly, almost to a T, what I've been talking and what I said right after Prop 64 passed. Not that I voted for it. I mean, I was hoping I was going to be wrong for once in my life. But apparently today, and the weed deal is not going to be that day.
You've never been wrong. Shut up.
See, that caught your attention.
It did.
You were kind of
I wasn't listening to
you were
anything
kind
else
of
you said
fading
but
out
that.
until I mentioned that. See, it's kind of that radio professional stuff when you see.
Yeah, you know how to grab somebody back.
Yes, you kind of reel them back in when you see them drifting off. Well,
Mhm.
oh yeah, well you did it. But no, all seriousness aside on this, it's by Brooke Stagg. She writes in the Press Enterprise as year 2 of legal cannabis sales in California comes to a close, shoppers are still more likely to buy marijuana from illicit sellers than from state-sanctioned stores that pay taxes and test their products for safety. California's 7,000 licensed cannabis businesses and the state's tax revenue are feeling the pinch. Lesson number 1. If you overtax things, you're going to get less of it. You're going to get more illegal behavior, and you're going to get less revenue. Now, I get that a lot of you don't pay attention or stuff on the normal stuff a lot of us political junkies talk about and how you should do that. But this is about weed, which I know a lot of you are paying attention about. So maybe we can incorporate a few lessons on how things work and how things really get off a track, so you will understand and pay attention to this one. Prominent cannabis companies that a year ago were growing aggressively in recent months have laid off workers. They say hefty taxes, onerous regulations, and competition from a thriving illicit market are still forcing them to scale back operations.
What? I'm just kidding. He's gonna
see overtaxing it, not allowing the market to establish, over-regulating it, making it too expensive to sell weed legally is just going to encourage or strengthen the black market, which we were trying to eliminate, so we would control it. It wouldn't be destroying our neighborhoods of people growing it in houses in your neighborhood and stuff, and many others, as we've been pointing out or posting the stories that have been going out. And 2, look at the legit employment. Here's what it is. If you are selling legitimately, all the employees that are growing and stuff are filling out taxes, getting W-2s, getting a paycheck. You know what? All the people that are doing this illegally, not only the people selling it, but all the people working on the illegal stuff are rolling out the cash and not paying in to the tax base on that. That's probably an even bigger loss than what you get off of the actual sales tax revenue of that, and it's keeping the underground cash economy growing like a weed. And pardon the pun. Of that.
I'll do this.
Yes, my sound effects, man. There we go.
I got it. I already
a little
took care of
late on the draw on that, but no, that's it. Sad to say, this whole scenario is rolling out just like I outlined it, as it is being confirmed.
He's always right
in the Press Enterprise on this stuff.
He predicted it. I'm telling you, a giant warehouse where you can rent a room and grow your own stuff. And I'll hook you up. I'll do it for cheap.
Come on, do it.
And that's the whole point. That will never happen as long as they make it too expensive to do that. That is why it is important before this stuff starts is to pay attention to this stuff, so we actually have, again, that's what's ideas like yours. That's what this article is pointing out, is they are failing because of the onerous taxes and regulation and difficult to put in and everything else. So what has happened is the black market has even gotten stronger after we've done the exact opposite of what should have happened in California. What should have happened is we should have been transitioning from the black market where everybody was running at us and hiding and illegal, and cops were spending a lot of time arresting people and jailing people unnecessarily for this stuff. Now we haven't solved that problem. We're actually making it worse.
Yes. Right. You're just brilliant. I don't know what else to say. The cover photo, really? I mean,
Did you get that? Roll the story down. Go roll
what the
down.
hell is
put
up
up
with the freaking cover photo?
well, I just thought hell with it.
He is.
I thought it was. I mean,
He's
that
scary.
got more
What-
reaction than that. Yeah, there's a cover. But roll down to the story. It's not too far down on there in IE Newswire on the timeline of doing that. But no, this guy is. I mean that's got to be one of the all-time top 5 classic mug shots ever, wouldn't you say?
It's terrifying.
Well, that's what I say. That's a good. It's got to be in a all-time. I mean, people were writing in saying, "Is that a real mug shot?" Yes, it was. It was
Oh, I saw
taken
that.
from the Riverside County Sheriff's Department on that of that. Yeah, this guy was
Insane?
yeah. Well, no, he was in Norco. He had previously rented a house from an
Like
80
looking at that just makes me feel weird. You know, when you just have that creepy feel. Like I feel creepy.
So this guy had rented it.
I don't want to look at it anymore.
We had rented a house in Norco previously from an 83-year-old gentleman. Well, so he goes back to the place and apparently or allegedly assaults the old man,
Right.
beats him up, steals his car, and on and on. Finally, the cops roll down through the track him down, find the stolen car, and arrest this poor gentleman, or the gentleman featured in the photo of that. Yes, of that.
No, I think he was trying to lick his chin. Clearly, that's what he's doing in the photo.
That well in the cross-eyed the cross-eyed deal.
He's
But
trying to see where his tongue is. He can't locate it. I think he feels like he might have lost it.
yeah, I think he's lost a little bit more than that. But yeah, Paul Otto is his name, and he was down there on. Finally, they Paul Otto, Otto, but like yes, obviously not. From the blank stare you're getting, like,
What?
huh? Yeah, what?
Yes. Well,
No.
oh no, not even close. No. And was the bus driver's name wasn't Paul? It was just Otto, right? Okay.
But
Anyway,
yeah, he got into a traffic accident with the allegedly stolen car from the gentleman that he was renting the house from. Of that, but not saying, but just talking about weed. But I mean, this guy would be lucky if he was just on weed, in my opinion. I mean, what sort of? Yeah, I mean, this guy's got to be the poster child.
I don't know,
of
but can we just move it somewhere else, please?
why you would not? Well, you brought it up about the.
Because I go to do that video in the mall, and then I come across this, and I'm like, seriously? What the hell is going on?
Well, you can change the photo anytime you want.
I know.
But look at the reaction that thing got. I mean, people just eat this stuff up.
30,517.
I mean, it was terrific. I mean, yeah. There's these things when you see them, you say this is absolute dynamite gold on that. Scroll back down to the Jeff Clayton story because I want to talk about that before we get up. This was another, and again, sometimes these things are some of the toughest things to put on or write on that. But this is on IE Newswire. I found out Sunday. A very good friend of mine, Jeff Clayton, passed away on that. Jeff was he was a great guy. One thing, and I did know of him a little bit because he did play linebacker back in the 70s, and he went through he was on there all 4 years, and I think they won 1 or 2 Rose Bowls and were one national championship. He was in he transitioned from the John McKay coaching era to John Robinson, which were 2 very famous coaches that were at USC, and Pat Hayden and J.K. McKay, Ricky Bell, and stuff were a lot of his teammates back in those powerhouse teams back in the 70s. But as I said in the as I wrote, I mean, we both and he moved out to Moreno Valley, I think, in about 10 years ago. So actually, I ran across him, doing the politics stuff because he had a passion for that as much as I do in education. of that. He was really, really involved. Most of his career he spent in education and really encouraging and helping out a lot of youth that were troubled or didn't, maybe economically disadvantaged or, had problems at home and things like that. And he worked with a lot of kids to help them out, and hopefully straighten them out and, make a better life. But again, like I say, we shared the passion of sports, education, and politics, and we used to talk about a lot of different things. But like I said in the deal, there was never a time that when I talked with Jeff that I didn't take away something very valuable or something that I could use, in the future. And it was very sad on that. I mean, and as I did, his wife Juanita was in there, and she had what was really strange, what was really kind of ironic in this was about 3 or 4 years ago, she was on dialysis and stuff, and finally did wind up getting a kidney transplant where she was off that, and she was back to doing really well because Jeff was saddled down a lot with taking care of her when she was in really bad health, and then he had some issues coming on after that and stuff, and eventually last Sunday it all caught up with him, and he passed away on that. So that was that was kind of a it's never easy when you get to that, but I mean that's why I posted the picture of him with that big smile on his face, because that's how I remember Jeff as happy-go-lucky, very friendly, always looked at the positive side of things or tried to make things better. And that's the way, I remember him, and I hope everybody else will take a little piece of that with him, because he was, again, like I say, there's just hardly any better human being you could see walk or have walking the earth. And I was very proud to know him and call him my friend.
Aw, that's so sweet. Sorry for your loss, baby bro.
Yeah, but, like I say, we all get a turn at that at some point. There you go. Well, I hope you make it, but I wouldn't count the odds on it.
Helga writes in. Hi, Roy. Hi, Helga.
Hi, Helga.
You hasn't been on in a while, huh?
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Helga. On that long time, probably maybe the longest city or Marina Valley Unified School District employee. She's been driving the bus for Marina Valley Unified School District for a long time. I don't want to get into that, but back in the day when I was attending the place, she was. So that's how long she's been in the bus driver. Absolutely fantastic person. Her husband Bill Brown was worked for the city for a long time and was very involved and stuff, and did a lot of good things and stuff. So yeah, he was a good guy. He was a good guy too. He passed away about 4, 5, 6 years ago or so. But yeah, that was another one. But Helga, yeah, she's a great person. If you ever see her around, you'll see her at a lot of the school district events and stuff like that. She's like the unofficial head of the bus driver department, as I call
cool.
it.
I love bus drivers.
Yes. That most of them didn't like me, but only time I wrote.
I mean, who does?
You probably
I'm
got a
just kidding.
point there. No, you probably did. I mean, I only rode the school bus once on that, and other than field trips or something. But I mean, just daily back and forth on that, because all the times on that, either I was out of the distance or whatever of doing that, or one time. I remember in grade school, first time, because I did live across the street from the school, so obviously that was out. But we moved up a few blocks up the road. So, I mean, yeah, it was, oh, yeah, well, you can ride the bus to school. Try that. Well, it took almost a half an hour from the time the bell rang, that you're out of the halfway house detention center.
School.
AKA known as school. From the time the bell rang that says you're out, you're free to go, to the time I would get home, it was a half an hour longer by the time from the school to my doorstep. So I said, why in the heck would you ever want to ride the bus to school when you're losing you're losing an hour of time each day riding a stupid bus?
Wow. You know where my bus stop was?
Not
For school?
Where?
Right in front of my house.
Well, you didn't have to go far. How far would
No.
the
But people would all the way from the bottom of the street to the top, or
Right.
street behind. They would all walk to the front of my house or wherever the bus.
So
stops
everybody
were around the neighborhood.
everybody hung out at your house
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
So that was kind
And
of
then
cool.
days I decided not to go to school, people tattled.
Yeah.
I'm
We're-
just kidding. But
yeah.
people knew, and it sucked. Don't tell my parents.
I think they already did. You said they
No,
did.
they didn't. Well, my mom already called in and explained my hiding and ditching schools. No, I'm just gonna stop talking now. Why don't you shut me up?
No, because it's very entertaining. We know
No.
we want to hear more about the.
No, it's all right. I just want to brag about the bus stop being in front of my house. I used to love riding the bus. It was fun. I love my bus driver too, Miss Brown, Kitty Brown.
Well, yeah. I mean, I always that's what I say. I mean, to me, it was an hour's waste of time.
But we were far from the.
Yeah,
From the
I mean, I
school.
guess I could see. Yeah, like the kids from Midland School, which is down on Davis, that had to go all the way to Nason Street. Yeah, I could see that riding the bus of.
Why
of
would they
that.
have to go?
Because that's where everything back in the day, Midland was
Back in
Midland
the
took
day.
everything north of the freeway, all the way from University City, all the way to Nason Street was Midland Elementary.
Mm.
So that's how vast. Now it's like about lucky if it's like a quarter-mile radius around the school now, but that's how spread out things were back then. Yeah, most of the north side, except for the very east end of Moreno Valley, all went to Midland Elementary. So that's why I say they went all the way. We basically had two buses. One went south, going towards University City down the grade, and the other one went, should say west, down the grade, towards University City for the last kids down there, and the other one went east all the way up Ironwood up to Nason Street.
On the horse and carriage.
Yes, yeah, we didn't have cars back then, we didn't have buses. Yeah, we had horse-drawn carriages back then.
That's cool. Hey, sometimes I feel like that might be safer. I know there was that little hiccup in wherever recently, but
No, that goes to the point of that goes to my point. The one place, and I encourage this, and I've said it at the council or at the school board meetings. The one place where public transportation or busing works is schools, because for 180 days, you have a certain amount of people that are going from point A to point B and point B back to point A at the exact same time each and 5
why does
days
that
a week.
matter?
Because you have a captive audience. You're going to fill the bus. How many buses? I see them all the time, the RTA bus. You're lucky if they're running around here with one
But
or two people.
nowadays,
in.
the schools are so close together that kids can walk.
Do they? I see them
Well, I mean,
I see the big
that,
cluster
'cause we live pretty far
foxtrot
from- We live far from the school.
in
I don't
front
like
of
that.
every school.
Oh my
that-
God, it's crazy.
Yes, and that's because all the individual parents are driving their kids to school every day.
Insane.
That would have been freaking unheard of back in my day.
Freaking unheard
No,
of.
that would actually you wouldn't want. It was like you got shamed if your parents drove you to school. That was actually you didn't want. You were like covering your face and hope nobody sees me because you knew you were going to get
Oh my gosh,
roasted.
especially driving to school in my parents' cars that they had back in the day. Holy
Yes.
crap! I'm like, drop me off down the block. Do not drive by the
Yes.
school and say hi.
Except the one. This is the one cool one though. Was now that you mentioned, I think it was in the 5th grade. Because that's when the old Irwindale 605 San Gabriel Valley Speedway, the half-mile oval down there, used to run on Friday nights. So this was, it was 5th grade, so this had to be about 71, I think it was. So my dad was racing down in Irwindale that one Friday night. And so it comes over the intercom about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Roy Bleckert, please report down to the principal's office.
How many times did you hear that?
Well,
then?
yeah,
Let's
yes.
go back a
Yes.
step or two.
So yes, everybody's going. Yeah, he's in trouble again. Da 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 da. Down.
What'd you do today, Roy?
So I get there because I knew what was coming, so I didn't say anything. Because Dad said He said I'm gonna come over and pick you up, and we're gonna go. He said I'm gonna be there around 2 o'clock or so. Da 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 da. So I didn't. So I figured I knew everybody was gonna go ha 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 ha, this like that. So I said, okay, why don't you all follow me down to the why don't you all follow me down to the principal's office? So we'll see what's going to happen.
So all these students followed you down.
Yes,
to the principal.
I wanted to see them because I'm getting. I'm getting.
They didn't.
Yes, my dad had an old
He's getting
59.
me with his damn ham.
He had a
Come outta
59 Ford 10.5 ramp truck with a race car on it and everything. So I'm getting in the truck and we're going to the races while all these kids are got to go back to class while I'm going to the races at Irwindale. That was the coolest. That was the coolest thing. I mean, that was one time I really relished them calling my name, saying, "Come down to the principal's office." Down there to the deal. That was absolutely awesome.
Yes. Great. I don't know. Man, I wish I could be a fly on your life instead of like a fly on a wall. Fly on your life. Anyways.
No, that was
squirrely.
that was pretty cool. Now that we mentioned
That
that
is
back
cool.
in the day, roll up and this
Here
is
we
kind
go,
of a
people.
great
Here we go.
great have video one ready. Since we're talking about stuff that went back in the day on this, I want to get everybody's take on what happens because this is where I see society as, let's say, changed. And we're going to see if it's changed for the better or worse and get everybody's opinion
Oh
on that.
gosh, you want your negative
No,
mumbo.
I said better or worse. It could be better. Maybe I want to get everybody's take on how it used to be versus today. So tell me when you've got video. There
According to today's regulators and bureaucrats, those of us who were kids in the 50s, 60s, 70s, or even early 80s probably should not have survived. Our baby cribs were covered with bright-colored lead-based paint.
Yes.
We had no child-proof lids or locks on medicine bottles, doors,
You
or
unscrewed the
cabinets.
cap.
And when we rode our bikes, we had no
Easily.
helmets. We drank water from the garden
Yes.
hose and not from a bottle. We ate cupcakes, bread, and butter. And
Real
drank soda
butter.
with lots of sugar in it.
Dr.
We were
Pepper
rarely
had real
overweight
sugar
because we
in
were
it.
always outside playing.
Yes, slip and
We'd
slide.
leave home in the morning and play all day. As
There
long
we
as
go.
We were back when the street lights came
That
on.
was the rule.
No one was able to reach us all day. Smartphones? We didn't have cell phones at all. No PlayStations, Xboxes, limitless channels on cable, laptops or tablets. Facebook was an actual face and an actual book.
Yes.
We had friends. We went outside and found them. We played dodgeball, and sometimes the ball would hurt. We fell out of trees.
Yes,
got
we
cut,
did.
Broke bones and teeth. And there were no lawsuits from these accidents. No one was to blame but us. Remember accidents? We had fights and punched each other and got black and blue and learned to get over it.
Yes, we
We made
did.
up games with sticks and tennis balls. And although we were told it would happen, we didn't put out any eyes.
No,
We
no.
rode bikes or walked to a
The
friend's
big
home,
wheel
knocked on the
races.
door, rang the bell, or just walked right in and talked to them.
There you
Little
go.
League had tryouts, and not everyone made the team.
That's a
Those
fact.
who didn't had to learn to deal with disappointment. Some
And they
students
didn't
weren't as
die
smart as
either.
others, so they failed a grade and were held back to repeat the same grade. Tests
Hey,
were not
what a
adjusted
concept.
for any reason. Our actions were our own. Consequences were expected. The idea of parents bailing us out if we got in trouble in school or broke a law was unheard of.
No truer
They
words were
actually
ever
sided
spoken.
with the school or the law. Imagine that. Now, this generation has produced some of the best risk takers, problem solvers, and inventors ever. We had freedom, failure, success, and responsibility, and we learned how to deal with it. If you've related to anything that was just said, you're one of them. Congratulations.
Shut up, Roy.
No, it's really reality because you look at the way society is now. It's almost 180 degrees opposite of that. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, I love the deal. Facebook was actually your
Face
face in
in a
a
book.
book. You actually had to read a book. There was no of that. You actually, you did. You suffered disappointments. There was if you didn't make the baseball team. Well, you know what your parents told you? Well, you better get your butt out there and work harder on that, and get out there and get it and make that team the next year. No, not consoling, or not that it is, but I mean, not the lesson learned there was no. It's not anybody else's fault that you're not on the team. It's your fault. You have to get better, and that was the lesson we learned.
Coming from the crazy guy sitting next to me.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
and I see where that
It what? No. But with all the lead paint and all that other stuff, do you think that that's why people are like getting sick and stuff like
We
that?
didn't die.
You didn't, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah, there was,
That stuff's not healthy for you. So it's like getting rid of that stuff. Maybe people will have like live.
then why are we
longer.
walking around?
What do you mean? Why are we walking?
If it was
around?
all that stuff was bad,
God.
why are we walking around? Why is it if you stayed out till later, you built a evil Knievel ramp like you seen the guy crash, and you crashed and broke your arm or whatever, or you successfully jumped over 13 trash cans or whatever?
13.
That was the accomplishment.
Dangerous.
I mean, it was. That's what we did. We did stuff. We made stuff up.
People do stuff now too. People just like stuff differently. You're
But-
picking on people for doing things differently than what you want to do.
No.
I would never go jump a freaking ramp.
But
or
no,
15
you're
trash
seeing.
cans.
Look at
Insane.
the teen suicide rates tripling and all the angst and all this
That's
stuff
social
going on.
media crap though, because people
Well,
are
again,
bullies
yes.
and don't know how to shut up.
Well, no, we were bullies back. We were.
Yeah, but now it's now it's nonstop because people are on their phones all the time. You had bullies in school from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Now it's from whenever you get up in the morning till when you go to bed and finally put your damn phone down.
Did you see the kids punching each other?
I saw the kids punching each other. You know what? My boys have been fighting a lot lately too, and I don't like it. It's pissing me off.
But I mean, that's how we when back in at Midland School. Okay, if we got in a fight or something, or there was a conflict between two of us out there, Pat Cronin, the principal of that, would get the boxing gloves, lock
Shut up. Shut
in
up.
the janitor's
Closet?
storage area, yeah, and he would put on the gloves and say, "Okay, you two go at it," and then we would go at it, and then
That's an awesome principle.
and then
bring
when
that
it was
back.
over, what we did, once we got all that aggression out of it, we shook hands or that, and probably became best of buddies after that.
Probably.
On that.
But people suck these days. That's just what it is. People just suck. I suck, you suck, he sucks. She's cool though. I'm not gonna talk about her yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah. Well, you know when you're in the team when you get the "you suck" part of it.
No offense. I'm just all right. She sucks too.
There you go. Now you're in. But no, again, like I say, all the and it's in the studies of coming of that with all that. Like they said, the whole social media, internet, connectivity. You could talk to people all around the world was supposed to bring us closer together. But what it's done is it's actually made us. It's created more angst, more anger,
Made
more
us more,
anxiety,
like,
and driven us
sensitive.
further apart.
Hmm.
And that's
I just think I'm telling you, 2020 is gonna be like the best year ever. Everybody's just freaking angry.
well, we only got a few more days to find out if that's going to start coming to fruition because all
Cannot
2019
wait
is
for
just
this year to be freaking over.
is just about in the history book. So we'll get a 2020, which is actually really people think it's the first year of the decade, but actually the 2020 is the last year in the decade
Why?
because you start at the one and go to that.
Oh,
That
I
goes
see what
to.
you're saying.
But everybody
I get
thinks
that.
that 2020 is, when
the
you
fault.
start in that, or 2030 is actually the first year counted in the decade, and it's not really. It's
Until
actually the last.
2021
Yeah, 2021 will
is
be the
first
start
year.
of the
For all
first
of you that
next
were confused
decade.
about that,
So
Roy went ahead and cleared that up for you.
Yes,
Thank you, Roy.
useful facts
Useful facts with
that you
Roy.
could not live with in your daily life without knowing.
2021 is the first year of a what?
Next decade.
That what he said. Because I was listening.
Barely.
What?
So when's the next decade start?
I don't know. 2021.
Wow. Well, see, now you've made my life fulfilled because I actually put a little factoid in your head now that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah, test me that on Wednesday. Got it. Anyways, what else you got?
What else I got? Run video too. This is an absolutely neat promotion coming up. Actually, we'll have the Super Bowl. We're talking about 2020. What is February?
Who's playing Super Bowl halftime? Jennifer Lopez, huh? Mm,
That got a big reaction.
I'm not watching it.
Along with that, 2020 will be
Yeah.
up in February. Will be the Daytona 500, which kicks off which is the Super Bowl of stock car racing, as it's been determined, kicks off the season on that. One really cool thing that came up. couple of guys decided to make 40 special Busch beer cans out of Kevin Harvick's race car. Actually, out of the body panels and materials, out of the cars, they're making 40 special beer cans, and they're going to give them away on the at the when when the Daytona 500 is on. So you can register to win. But look at the process and play
That's
video.
cool.
Play video. I think that's
That's
number
awesome.
2. Is that video 2? Yeah. Play video 2.
Please.
Thank you.
Official beer of NASCAR.
Huh.
It's a nice headline to put on a billboard. But as the beer brewed for racing, we wanted to make the title Official Beer of NASCAR mean something for diehard fans. So we took Kevin Harvick's 2018 number 4 car, cut it up, and turned it into 40 collector's edition Busch cans. Here's how we did it.
I don't know what we were expecting when we got the materials in, but it was all clearly stuff that had been on the racetrack. Everything had dents, scrapes, burn marks, tears. I mean, it was rough.
Yeah, they didn't fake it. It was legit.
Yeah.
Kevin's car is made out of a lot of different materials. About half of the body is sheet metal and half of the body is carbon fiber.
Sheet metal and the carbon fiber, they have a really nice contrast with one another, both in terms of their color and their materiality. Eventually, we started looking at putting them together.
I would say the metal was the hardest material to figure out.
Draw forming is a sheet metal forming process where you stretch the sheet metal over a shape. So doing that in a way that didn't completely shred the vinyl was a real challenge.
NASCAR started using carbon fiber about 15 years ago. It's very lightweight, it's very durable, very strong.
Recycling carbon fiber isn't like, paper, plastic, metal, carbon fiber. It's very specialized.
The company that we partnered with is one of the very few that, if only, that's able to actually strip all of the resins out and deliver the fibers back to us.
I think that the fans are going to be very excited. It's a piece of NASCAR history. The materials that were used on the can were actually on the racetrack.
Oh, man. Wow, that's awesome. At least I didn't tear that part up. So we're going to give away 40 of these cans. It's pretty awesome.
For your chance to win one of these collector's edition cans, tune in to the Daytona 500 Sunday, February 17th on Fox.
That's awesome. How about one?
Well, you got to register to win and see if you tune into the Daytona 500 in February and see if you could win one of the 40 special
Are you
cans.
going to enter to win?
Well, yeah, sure. Find out where we enter to.
Why aren't you
Well-
more excited than that?
Well, I mean, wouldn't that? You got to imagine how much it cost to make those 40 beer cans. All the process they went through to do that. Those cans got to cost about $2,000. I bet you they cost about $2,500 a piece to make.
Shut up. You think so?
Melting down all that, especially doing the carbon fiber, taking the carbon fiber hood, melting it back down, getting the resins back out, and then
So what do you
making.
think the resale on that would be?
It's going to be a bunch. Those are going to be some very valuable
Not that if
freaking
I win, I
cans.
wouldn't- I
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah, the
resell it,
odds of
but-
you winning one are probably going to be astronomical. I bet you they'll have
Why are
millions.
you freaking popping bubbles like crazy today? Stop. I'm going to win. And if I win, I'm not even going to let you touch it. I'll let you hold it.
Thank you. After I you didn't even know about this, did you?
No.
But no, I think that's
Maybe.
absolutely cool that they're doing that. That would be an actual that would be an actual really prized thing to win if you could come up with one of those, because like you say, those were I can guarantee you that we'll have to see if we can get those guys on the show here pretty soon. See what it costs, because I bet you it cost a ton of money to make those cans like that. With all the process of going through like that, look at how difficult it was to make those. Look at look at those. That. No, it's absolutely fun. So somebody just wrote me that they said, well, 2020 will really be a great year if Tom DeSantis, the city manager of San Marino Valley, is gone. So that I don't know. It is just for you political junkies. It is on the agenda coming up on closed session about either his dismissal, or retirement. So maybe he's retiring or something.
Oh, wow. Really?
On the deal. So yeah, it looks like maybe we're getting a new. Well, it looks like we're
City
getting.
manager?
Yeah, it looks like we may be getting a new city manager here in Marina Valley pretty soon.
I think he's
One
a
way
nice
or the
guy,
other.
though.
He said, Tom
He's
DeSantis.
a
You ought to
nice
research.
human being.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. We ought to have a. Well,
no.
we ought to, when we get back. Maybe after the first year, we'll have old Jason Hunter on and that, and we'll talk about a little bit of some of the stuff. He has some neat stories to tell about what went on down in Riverside, back in the day, of that. But yeah, we'll see what goes on. We'll see what goes on that kind of stuff. So it'll be another fun factoid. We got again. We previewed the event that was coming up here, and it will be culminating here Monday night. So have the IEN video up and ready here, and we'll do that. But yeah, there's a pretty. We talked about it. The event coming up. If you want to be in Hollywood, tonight is the night, starting at 7:30
to 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Breaking into Hollywood.
It's at 16220 Indian Street, which is just a little bit south of Iris, if you're familiar with the Moreno Valley area. For us old schoolers, for you new schoolers, just punch it into your GPS and it will tell you how to get there. See, we had to learn back in the day. We had to learn actually, well, you either had to get a map out, or if you didn't want to waste time with that, you just remembered where all the stuff was. Yeah.
I can't with you sometimes.
Of all the stuff, but no, it's.
I can't with you.
But Entangled Entertainment's putting it on. Noel G will be there. Jesse and what's
David.
David will be there. They'll be there for an hour and a half to answer your questions.
Over 30 years of experience in Hollywood with these three gentlemen.
There you go. And they will answer your questions, do that, maybe give you a hand. If you ever wanted to work in the Hollywood industry of that, this is a video that Stephanie shot at the Moreno Valley Mall where they were meeting some of the folks out there yesterday afternoon. Roll the video.
Stephanie from Newswire here out at Moreno Valley Mall. I'm here with Noel G, who you might know from Fast and Furious. Just almighty, fresh off the boat. He's going to explain a little bit of his event he has coming to Moreno Valley tomorrow night. Take it away.
What up? Check it out. Long story short, man, free event tomorrow in Moreno Valley. I'm going to give you the address right here. It's tomorrow at 7:30 to 9 o'clock. It's all for free. You know, I'm Mexican. I take anything free. You know what I'm saying? And long story short, it's going to be at 16220 Indian Street, Moreno Valley. So come through, come hang out. Long story short, it's a Christmas party. Plus, if they want to break into Hollywood, like get into commercials, television shows, movies, singer, rapper, actress, cameraman, producer, so anything I got to do with Hollywood, we're going to tell you how to do it for free. All you got to do is show up, walk inside the building, and come hang out, come chill. And at least if you ain't coming for none of that, come for some free food. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You know the way to a man's
That got
heart
me.
is through the stomach. Is that right for a girl too, or what?
Right. Yep.
That is? Yeah, there it is, man. That's the voice of sanity right there. So come to our event, come
Or
hang out,
insanity.
come chill, and that's it. And follow me on my Instagram, Actor Noel G. Actor Noel G.
Come out, check it out. You might even catch him at the mall. Bye, guys.
There you go. Yeah. One thing I love, and again, this is what's great, and I think we need to get more about that. I mean, he made a joke about, I'm Mexican. We will do anything for free. That sometimes, and I think it's society. We that's the way we used to talk. I mean, we said that, and everybody's looking for a reason to get offended on stuff, and I think we need to lighten up a little bit on this stuff. But yeah, it's absolutely a great event. You can come out, and even if you don't want to break into Hollywood, just come out, enjoy some of the food, just socialize, get out and meet some new people. You never know, you might make a new friend or something out there, and that'll be well worth it. So it's out at
16220 Indian Street, Moreno Valley, California, 92551 from 7:30 to 9. 7:30 to 9 p.m.
I was playing your role.
Shut up, Roy. Whatever.
We're doing it.
You don't do it as good as I do.
No, that's right. No, I couldn't.
It'll be fun.
Yeah,
I'm
it
looking
was.
forward to it.
Come out and check it out. Have some fun on that. It'd be a really good event. And like I say, for all you old schoolers, that's on Indian, just a little bit south of Iris, right over by the Home Depot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's where it is. Past the Home Depot?
It'd be a little bit south, a little bit
Okay, we
west
don't
and
say
south, because if
Stop
Home
saying west and south. Target, Walmart, Home Depot.
Home Depot's on Iris and Paris. Indians, the next block west, and then it's just a little bit south of there. But it's, very...
The south.
Yeah.
Which way is south? I don't know. I'm so screwed if I ever get lost. That's why I never leave.
I know
That's
what
why
you.
I never leave Moreno
I know what
Valley.
you. Yes, I know what you need for Christmas now. You need a compass.
No, because I won't even know.
You need a compass to stick. Like the old days, we used to have these compasses that we used to stick on the windshield up by where the rearview mirror was, so it would tell you if you were going north.
Well, now my car tells me, but I don't pay attention to it.
Yes.
No. Ah. Oh, Del Taco.
Wow.
Mm-mm. I know where Rainbow Ridge is, though. Oh, okay. Yep. Got it.
Ding, ding,
Thanks,
ding,
Jess.
ding, ding.
See, he's helpful. You
See, that's
aren't. With the South crap. Who says that? No one does that anymore. Anyways. Hi, Emlyn. Thanks for tuning in.
that's something. I don't know what's
What?
when two worlds collide. I guess you don't. You really. You. I guess that's one of the sad aspects to that stuff. Like you say with the GPS, and it tells you this is now people don't even have a sense of direction. North? What's north?
But even if it was like, let's go back to the 1800s, 1700s, whatever, I still would
So-
have no sense of direction. I would still be screwed.
Back when they were when they guided themselves by the
By the
stars,
stars? Yeah.
or the
I get
sunlight,
stuck staring at them.
mesmerized, hypnotized.
I love
Do you-
stars, though.
Do you get hypnotized? No, that's one. No,
I
no,
love stars.
Man, back in
That's
the
like my
day when there was
thing.
hardly, when there was hardly any artificial light in the nighttime, you could see in Moreno Valley there was like thousands. I mean, the sky was just filled with. Not that they're not there, you just can't see them anymore with all the lights on all the time. But man, you used to go out there and man, it would just be like the stuff and study go out there. Again, I guess that's probably why we're so retarded or stuff. But we go out there and look for the Big Dipper out there and.
I love looking for the Big Dipper.
And all that stuff back there, or falling stars. You never.
Oh, yeah, like a meteor, right? How come there has been a meteor shower?
Recently. Because you don't
It's been
like
forever.
falling stars and stuff. You don't see.
You know how there's like where it goes through these phases where there's always like meteor showers? There used to be some all the time when I was younger. Now there hasn't been any.
Yes, most of them you can't see. Yeah, the
Is it
light.
like global warming kind of thing?
No, it's all all
global
the
warming.
street lights, your porch light, all the lights
You
going
can,
on.
but they used to like tell like on the news like, oh, well, maybe if I start watching the news again.
Well, yeah,
But then you can go up to the mountains and watch it.
well, yeah, if you're up high enough or stuff or up
Well, I
above
would
the-
take the drive to go up there to watch it.
and that's about your only option anymore because there's so much.
Okay, negative Ned. We can see the stars really good from over here. What? Yes? LinkedIn. Oh, what? Shut up. Wow. That's like I'm freaking psychic without even knowing.
That's
Do you know
what
how
I
I did that right there?
Yes,
That's
they're
freaking-
still
that's
out
magical
there.
powers right
you
there.
just, in most cases, they quit
Magical
publishing
freaking
it,
powers.
or they quit. Most of the newspapers and stuff and TV stations quit publishing it
Why?
because everybody would call in. Well, we can't. They would say, "Oh, there's going to
Well,
be a
why would
meteor
people
shower,"
call in?
because they would go outside and look and they can't see it, and then they'd say, "Well, what
Well, freaking look harder, people.
Oh,
I just don't
man.
get why people would call in and be like, I can't see the star falling from the sky. Walk a little north or south or
Yeah,
something.
drive. Plug
south.
plug the roads
Am
up
I
going
am I
up to
saying
the
the right way?
mountains.
Is
Yes.
that south? What is it, west? I don't know. I'm just going to stop talking.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Ooh. I will refresh your memory in the first law of holes. When you're in one, stop digging.
What if I like it down there? I'm digging for gold, man. We've already had this conversation. A time or 12.
Yes. Well, you're digging in the wrong spot for gold.
I don't think so. I'd have to argue that one.
Well, let us know how much gold you pan
I will.
in
If I know how to
find
get
it
there.
in Moreno Valley. There probably is.
I think there would be some.
Maybe you might find some copper, I would say, out in this area or stuff. You might get very lucky to find gold, but I mean, I would rather doubt it out in this area. I've never seen many people that do that.
Have you scouted the land back in your day?
What do you mean scout the lane?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, we
I
used to
felt
be
like I
all over
sounded
the hills.
start-
That's
or
what,
start-
like the thing
start.
said.
Can't even talk.
We would take off during the day, and I mean, we would go all the way up Box. There was no gates on the road going up to Box Springs Mountain or the M. You just drove up there, or rode your bike,
How
or
many
hiked
people
up
have
there.
drove off the side of the M?
Well, I don't remember anybody actually drive. The road is pretty narrow. I mean, I don't remember anybody actually driving off. And a lot of people, like I said before, crashed down Pigeon Pass or going up the road on the first part of it. Actually, I think it was a couple of years ago going up Box Springs where you go and you start the dirt road up. It might have been a police chase situation, but somebody had a good-sized crash going up, lost control of their vehicle up in that area.
Well, then why did they had to have put that there for a reason?
Well, they put the gates up because people were going up, where
Probably
the
destroying the
well, yeah,
property,
where
not
the
doing it
towers were up there,
respectfully.
where the broadcasting towers are
See,
up.
now
and-
we're swinging back around to people suck.
this, and you can't. Well, on a clear day, if there was no smog, if you got up on you're high enough up, if you get up on the top part of Box Springs up there by the M, you can see the Pacific Ocean.
Oh, shut up. No way. Really?
Yep.
You think so?
But a lot of times back in the day, there was so much air pollution back there when we were all going to die or whatever, you
Maybe.
couldn't see.
I
But
don't know.
if you get a clear day, like if the wind was blowing you right, the opposite direction or something and blowing it, blowing the smog and stuff out, that, yeah, if you get in the right spot, you can see the Pacific Ocean from up there.
It's probably Lake Paris. I was just confused.
Lake Paris,
No,
I
it's
don't
probably
think
Lake Elsinore is what you're seeing. Why?
yeah, southwest.
Stop with all the Southwest crap.
Well, okay, if you're sitting in Moreno Valley or Riverside, how would you designate where Lake Elsinore was if you didn't say, well, it's southwest of here? So
I would say
probably
it's
about
towards In and Out, but in between Target and Home Depot
there's more than one
or
of
Del
those.
Taco.
Yeah, that's over in Moreno Valley.
Food
That's
and stores.
that's a long ways from Lake Elsinore. But yeah, how would you designate if you were talking to somebody and you were standing here? How would you tell them to get to, or where in general direction? How would you explain it to where Lake Elsinore is?
Go up to 15 going towards Temecula or San Diego.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say southwest or east or any of that because I don't know what the hell it is.
Well,
I
which-
would say towards a city or a store. Or like a main
well, what if they don't know
land thingy.
What if they're not professional shoppers and know where the Pacific landscape?
Well, then if they're not professional shoppers, they should not be talking to me because I'm not professional direction giver.
So yeah, if you were
I would say, give me your phone. I'll put it on Google Maps, and
if you're saying if you're giving somebody, or you're saying just in the general direction, you're sitting in Moreno Valley and you're saying, well, yeah, San Diego is
that way.
It's about 90 miles. In the border, the Mexico-San Diego border is about 90
I
miles
wouldn't even think of saying
south
that.
of
I'd
here.
say it's by Little Italy because I'm Italian, and it's all like, yeah. See, Jesse gets it. I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what you expect. In Spicy World, we got 1 minute. I'm not gonna learn myself.
Jesse's going to turn the thing off in a minute,
by
whether
then.
we're going or not.
I don't know. How would you say it?
What? Well, I'd say yeah. It's just head directly south about 90 miles for her, and you'll run right into San Diego.
I'll say get your happy little butt on the 15 and follow the signs that says go that way. Bada bing, bada boom. There and lickety split. No, probably 215, huh? Yeah. 215.
Yeah, you'd have them driving down the
I would
60
have
to
them
the
going-
91 to the 15 across.
They'd end up in Ontario.
Yes, they'd be back across the whole. Yes, back going.
Well, that's probably
They-
why people don't ask me for directions.
Yes, they'd wind up making a 180-mile-an-hour trip out of a 90-mile-an-hour trip if they were listening to you.
Whatever. Hey, I'll take them the scenic route because I hate freeways. We'll get there tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow
week.
at 5 o'clock on Taco Tough
Tuesday.
Tuesday. That
Tough Taco Tuesday, what?
Tough Taco Tuesday. Come up with a new one on that.
Yeah,
Doesn't that
Taco
sound cool?
Tuesday. No,
Tough
it
Ta-
doesn't. It
Terrific
sounds like
Taco
It
Tuesday.
sounds like a still taco.
Go out there last minute. Go out there and check out the event at if you want to get into Hollywood or just hang out with a bunch of cool folks. Yeah,
cool.
Noel G
You'll
and a
let
bunch of
you-
cool
eh.
folks. 16220 Indian, which is just south of Iris.
Buy Home Depot, people. Start at 7:30. Be there.
You got it.
And like we always say,
We're
you're
going.
gone.